Well, as you just saw there during the break, we were running the promo to Erick Stakelbeck's show, Stakelbeck on Terror. He's with us today via Skype from the CBN headquarters, and we are delighted and honored to partner with him and be working with him together in all of these things that we do in Christian media. Erick, what a delight to see you, friend.
Perry, thanks for having me. Great to be here.
Hey, what did you think of the debate last night?
Well, look, I think Romney won. The reason people are saying it's a draw, Romney, the so-called geniuses in the mainstream media, is because basically Obama showed up. I mean, after the first debate where he didn't have a pulse and he was shellacked by Romney, last night he showed a pulse. So on that end, people were saying, well, it's a draw. But look, if you look at the content, I think Romney was on point. I think he looked very presidential. I think Obama almost overcompensated after that first debate, Perry. He was attacking so viciously in many ways, might have turned undecided voters off, I think. And by the way, if you're still undecided at this point, what's wrong with you? There's 20 days left. Make up your mind.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, I mean, come on. We know by now, right?
Yeah.
But I think Romney, look, he was going against not only Obama, honestly, Perry, he was going against Candy Crowley,
right,
who was cutting Romney off, sending Obama a lifeline time and time again, and he was going against the crowd. Look, undecideds in New York, which is leaning, I think, 30% in favor of Obama, I doubt it. So Romney was on hostile territory last night, without a doubt. I thought he more than held his own. And I think that Libya, now, Candy Crowley threw Obama a lifeline there and bailed him out, basically, and changed the subject when Romney started hitting him on that, Perry. But Monday night, October 22nd, foreign policy debate. There will be no escape for Obama from this Libya question.
All right, let's go down that road a little bit, Erick, because the Libya issue continues to boil up. It certainly is a cover-up. It's a crisis. I don't know why we're even putting up with this and still trying to figure out what's going on, the who, what, where, and when. Where do we go with this? Do you think it's going to sting the president in the end?
I think it is. Look, this is a scandal. I mean, this really is Benghazi-Gate. If this was a Republican administration, Perry, and I hate to get partisan about it, but it's true. I work here in the Beltway. I know how the mainstream media operates. If this was a Republican administration during an election season, say it was George W. Bush, and this happened, this would be the scandal to end all scandals. It would end his presidency. No chance he'd be reelected. That's how bad this is. 4 Americans are dead, and we were willfully misled for weeks. President Obama, contrary to what he said in the debate last night and what Candy Crowley tried to put forward there falsely, he did not call this an act of terror, this Benghazi attack against our consulate. He talked about acts of terror generally in that Rose Garden speech, but in addition to that, at the UN 2 weeks later, 6 times, Perry, at the UN in front of the General Assembly, he blamed that obscure YouTube film for causing these attacks on our consulate. They've willfully misled the American people here. I think Romney will hit him and hit him hard on Monday night. He kind of let an opportunity pass last night on Libya, quite honestly. I don't think that's going to happen today. I think until November 6th, he's going to push on this. The mainstream pretty much brushed it aside. You'll never see it on the front page of the New York Times. But I think the Romney campaign, places like CBN, theDove, Fox News are hitting this hard, and I think the American people are definitely onto it.
All right, let's skip over it a little bit, because during his address to the UN, he mentioned that Israel was, quote, one of our allies in the Middle East, and that certainly weakens the position. How bad is our relationship, at least this administration's relationship, is with Israel right now?
Yeah, Perry, you make a key point there. It's this administration's relationship. The American people, poll after poll shows that the American people overwhelmingly support Israel and support a strong American relationship with the Jewish state. This administration's relationship with Israel, horrible. With the Israeli government, horrible. It's a self-inflicted wound by the U.S. As you said, the Obama administration considers Israel just one more country in the Middle East. Nothing special about Israel, even though it's a Western-style democracy, the cradle of Judeo-Christianity, and our longtime friend. The Obama administration has decided that throwing Israel under the bus, as Mitt Romney has said so many times, and decreasing the relationship with Israel and embracing the Muslim world will make Muslims like us. What a genius idea. It really hasn't worked out too well, has it? Look at North Africa right now, Perry. Look at the Middle East. Absolute chaos, debacle, radical Islamist coming to the forefront in all of these countries. Meanwhile, Israel has never been more alone, has never been in a more precarious position. The Obama administration's Middle East policy is an absolute shambles, and Israel, besides America, has been the biggest victim.
Stunning moment when Prime Minister Netanyahu held up the picture of the bomb and drew the red line. The whole world saw it, and it appears to me we are at the red line. Do you think Prime Minister Netanyahu is going to go in no matter what we think?
Yeah, you know, Perry, you and I have discussed this before here on the show. I really believe that Israel is going to do it. Now, I'll be honest with you. I thought it would have happened by now. No one wants to see it, obviously, but Israel has its back against the wall. They have no choice. Iran is very, very close.
Okay, Eric.
So, potential threat. Yeah.
We got a little bit of a...
I'm sorry, Perry.
That's we got a little bit of a Skype delay. I think we get you back there. Okay, there you are. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, no, here I am.
Yeah,
okay. It's Ahmadinejad. He heard what we were saying. He tried to sabotage it. See? Well, look, Perry.
Yeah.
Iran's very, very close. It's an existential threat not only to Israel, but America as well. And I'll talk about that in a second. But look, Netanyahu, I thought he would do it by now. I have to be honest with you. Yeah. I'm surprised he's waited. But I think it comes to the point, post-election, it looks like most likely, where Netanyahu says, look, we got to do it. We have no choice. We have to avert a second Holocaust. And I believe, Perry, that Netanyahu is a man for these times. I believe he's in this position for a reason. It's not a coincidence. He's a man of strength, a man of character, very Churchillian in many ways. And I believe he's going to do what he needs to do.
He seems to be the leader of the free world right now. There's no question about it. And President Obama seems to be the star of his own drama. So let me ask you this. Has the Obama policy, foreign policy, abated the enemy?
It's aided and abetted the enemy 100%. I mean, I don't know if it's willful on the part of the Obama administration, but their actions and their words both speak loudly. Look, in terms of Egypt, for example, we're giving $1 billion in aid to the Muslim Brotherhood government of Egypt. That's not a good thing. The Muslim Brotherhood is inherently anti-American and does not recognize Israel's right to exist, yet we are going to turn around and give them $1 billion in financial aid? Yeah. This is madness. What are they going to use that aid for? Weapons. What are they going to use the weapons for? To rally the troops against Israel and target Israel. So that's just one example for you. Egypt, in Iran, for example, we keep telling Israel publicly, don't act. Don't you dare strike Iran. The Iranians hear that and they think two things. Number one, America's never going to hit us. And number two, wow, there's daylight between America and Israel. This is a good thing. It's just two examples, and not even using the term Islamic terror. President Obama still has not called the Benghazi attack Islamic terrorism, which is exactly what it was. And he misleads the American people, Perry, by saying al-Qaeda's on its heels. Al-Qaeda is nearly defeated. Osama bin Laden's dead. Look, it's great that bin Laden's dead. Amen. But al-Qaeda is anything but dead. They cover more geographical ground now than they did on 9/11. Yeah. That's astounding. And prime example, they attacked our consulate in Libya last month.
All right, so how threatening is Iran to the United States?
Iran is an existential threat not only to Israel, Perry, and every viewer needs to understand this. People think, well, it's only a threat to Israel. That's thousands of miles away. It doesn't affect us. Oh, really? There's a reason that Iran is developing intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, that could reach the east coast of the United States, where I'm sitting right now. That's not by coincidence. There's a reason that Mahmoud Ahmadinejad paid a visit to Cuba in January to meet with the Castro brothers. And there's also a reason that Iran is building missile bases in Venezuela in our hemisphere. Congressman Peter King said back in March here on Capitol Hill that Iran has some 200 to 300 agents here in the United States. Now, why is that? What's the reason? Well, Iran is looking to establish a forward base here in the Western Hemisphere to strike America. Remember, we, in their ideology, Perry, we are the great Satan.
Right.
Israel is only the little Satan. We are the ultimate prize. Does anyone out there really think that once Iran finished with Israel, that they would stop there, pack up their bags, and go home? No. Israel's first, but we come second. We are the ultimate prize in their insane ideology.
In some of the Stratford reports that I've seen, it looks like we are moving some aircraft carriers towards the Middle East. There's one there now and 3 more on the way. Is that kind of a backup in case Israel needs some support, or is that for some other reason that you may know?
I think it's 2 things, Perry. I think it's number one, to kind of show, it's kind of a show of force to Iran, kind of a warning, kind of an intimidation type tactic to show the Iranians, hey, we mean business, although I don't think Obama really does mean business. And number 2, that's in the case of, look, if Israel does hit Iran, or when they hit Iran, does Iran try to shut off the Strait of Hormuz? That's that strategic waterway there where I believe 1/4 of the world's oil passes through every day. So we want to have assets in place, make sure the flow of oil continues in the event of an Israeli attack against Iran, and also to retaliate against Iran if need be. Look, if Iran strikes American interests, carries out a terror attack and kills American troops, American citizens, even the Obama administration in that situation would be forced to respond somehow.
Can Israel handle a multitask strike? I mean, they're not only going to have to go in and take out the nukes in Iran, but they're going to have to protect themselves from Lebanon and Egypt. Can they handle this? That
point. Number one, you have Hezbollah in Lebanon, you have Hamas in Gaza, you have a newly hostile Egypt under the Muslim Brotherhood. Also keep an eye on Syria. Very unstable there, obviously, civil war going on at Israel's doorstep. And if Assad, the Syrian dictator, decides to go out in a blaze of glory, he might fire a few missiles at Israel. So what Israel, I think, I'm not a military planner, but from the Israelis I talk to, Israeli leaders, Israeli government officials, sense I get is that if you're going to go for it, you're going to go all the way, you're going to strike Iran's nuclear weapons facilities, then you also must strike Hezbollah, Hamas, and possibly Syria, Iran's proxies. Because if you don't hit them, they surely will hit you in retaliation for the strike against Iran. They're marching to the drumbeat of Iran. They're marching to the orders of Iran. So this is going to be not just an Iran-Israel thing, Perry. It's going to be a wider regional war. And the entities, the terror groups on Israel's doorstep, they are going to throw their hat in the ring. So Israel's not going to just be striking Iran's nuke facilities. They're going to be striking Hezbollah, Hamas. Can they do it? Look, very tall order. Israel's a very tiny country, obviously, the size of New Jersey, 6 million Jews out of a 7 million strong population. But I look at Israel's technology, number one. They have some things up their sleeve, some strategies up their sleeve, Perry. Cyber warfare, electronic warfare against Iran's nuke facilities, I don't think people have considered yet. And I think number two, Israel has had a history of daring operations, successful operations that have stunned the world. And I think number three, look, they have a good friend on their side in a very high place that might help. So yeah, I think Israel's going to pull it off. They might not completely decimate that Iran nuclear program, probably won't, but I think they'll cripple it for at least a few years to give themselves some breathing room.
Their intel's the best in the world.
Absolutely.
All right. Back home just for a moment. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton said, nope, buck stops with me. President said, nope, the buck stops with me. So what do we got going on here with this Libyan crisis?
Well, Hillary Clinton was trying to fall on the sword for Barack Obama, basically, and take responsibility. The buck stops with him. I mean, this is insane. You have to know. Yeah. You have to know when your consulate is attacked on the ball. And Mitt Romney made a great point. The day after the consulate was attacked, he gives this lifeless statement, minute-long statement in Rose Garden. Then he flies off to campaign in Las Vegas and party with celebrities and raise money. This is insane. And even before that, Perry, look, we knew Libya, because of his decision to strike Libya, we knew that Libya was a very hostile, very chaotic place. We knew that there were attacks against our consulate there, against our embassy there, in the months prior to the big one on September 11, 2012. So we knew there was hostility there. We knew Al-Qaeda was there. And President Obama, as Perry, he supposedly gets the daily intelligence briefings. Now, we've learned over the past month that he doesn't attend a lot of those intelligence briefings. He reads them on his iPad, apparently, which is a disturbing thing, to say the least, in a time of global jihad. But to say that he and Joe Biden didn't know that the situation in Benghazi was tenuous and dangerous is crazy.
Yeah. Erick, you're wonderful. Thank you, my friend. Keep up the good work, and we are delighted and honored to partner with you. Our best to all of you guys there at CBN. God bless you, and we'll have you back soon, okay, pal?
Perry, thank you. God bless everyone. Thanks.
See you.